Richard is 62 years old. He is a responsible man. He wants to live a long, independent life. So, every single morning with his coffee, he does what millions of people in their 60s do. He opens a small plastic pill organizer. He swallows one low-dose aspirin to protect his heart. And because his right knee has been bothering him lately, he takes one over-the-counter ibuprofen. He believes he is building a shield around his health. He believes these pills are as harmless as a glass of water. He is wrong. One Tuesday morning, Richard tries to get out of bed, but the room spins violently. He feels a profound, crushing weakness in his legs. His skin is pale. His heart is racing, pounding against his ribs like a trapped bird. He goes to the bathroom and notices his stool is pitch black, like tar. He is terrified. He thinks he is having a massive heart attack. But when the paramedics arrive and rush him to the emergency room, the doctors reveal a completely different nightmare. Richard's heart did not fail. Richard is bleeding to death from the inside out, and the weapon that caused it was sitting in his own medicine cabinet. To understand how a harmless routine almost killed a healthy 62-year-old man, we have to look at an invisible biological shift, a shift that happens the moment you enter your 60s. In the medical world, we call it pharmacokinetics. Simply put, it is the science of how a drug travels through your body. When you were 40 years old, your internal organs were like a raging, fast-flowing river. You swallow a pill, your stomach breaks it down. Your liver metabolizes it instantly. Your kidneys filter out the toxic waste and flush it away. The river clears the debris within hours. But when you cross the age of 60, that river begins to slow down. Your liver loses mass. The specific enzymes that dismantle chemicals, like the cytochrome P450 system, become sluggish. Your kidneys lose some of their microscopic filtering units, called nephrons. The current is no longer fast. The river is drying up. So, what happens when you drop the same pill into a slow-moving river? It doesn't wash away. It stays. It lingers. When Richard took his Tuesday morning pill, the pill from Monday was still circulating in his bloodstream. The chemical from Sunday was still trapped in his fat cells. This creates a silent, deadly phenomenon known as the chemical traffic jam. Without ever changing his dose, Richard was slowly overdosing himself. A 50-milligram pill was now acting like a 150-milligram bomb inside his system. And the first casualty of this chemical traffic jam was the great myth of the daily aspirin. For decades, doctors handed out aspirin like candy. We were told that if you are over 60, taking a baby aspirin every day is the ultimate armor against a heart attack. But modern cardiology has uncovered a terrifying truth. For millions of older adults, that daily aspirin is not a shield, it is a loaded gun. Let's zoom in on the microscopic anatomy of your blood. Aspirin works by permanently paralyzing your platelets, the tiny cells responsible for making your blood clot. If you've already had a heart attack, if you have a stent in your chest, paralyzing these platelets is necessary. It stops a second attack. This is called secondary prevention. But if you are like Richard, if you have a healthy heart and you're taking aspirin just in case, you are playing a very dangerous game. Because at 62 years old, the delicate mucosal lining of your stomach is thinner than it used to be. The microscopic blood vessels in your brain are more fragile. And when you flood a fragile, aging system with a drug that completely destroys its ability to clot, a microscopic tear in your stomach wall doesn't just heal. It bleeds, and it bleeds, and it bleeds. This is exactly what happened to Richard. The daily aspirin, combined with the slow metabolism of his liver, turned a microscopic irritation into a massive gastrointestinal hemorrhage. Instead of preventing a heart attack, the aspirin created a crisis so severe that his brain was starved of oxygen due to the blood loss. But aspirin rarely works alone. Richard made one more mistake. He combined his daily heart protector with the most common, most abused, and most misunderstood pill on planet Earth. A pill that millions of seniors take every day for joint pain, completely unaware that it is quietly destroying the pressure valves inside their kidneys. Let's look at the pressure clamp and why your over-the-counter painkiller might be the real reason your blood pressure is out of control.
And why your over-the-counter painkiller might be the real reason your blood pressure is out of control. The false candy. Richard did not just take an aspirin. Every evening when his right knee flared up with arthritis, he opened a different bottle. He took an ibuprofen, sometimes a naproxen. In the medical world, these are called NSAIDs, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. For anyone over the age of 60, these pills are treated like candy. You buy them at the grocery store next to the chewing gum. You don't need a prescription. Because they are so easy to get, we have been brainwashed into believing they are completely harmless. But an NSAID is not a targeted missile. It is a cluster bomb. And when it goes off inside a 62-year-old body, the collateral damage is catastrophic. Let's look at the microscopic anatomy of your body's filtration plant, the kidneys. Inside your kidneys, you have millions of microscopic filters called nephrons. Their job is to clean your blood, balance your electrolytes, and flush excess sodium and water out of your system through your urine. But to do this, the nephrons need a massive, continuous supply of blood. They rely on a specific chemical messenger to keep the blood vessels wide open. This chemical is called a prostaglandin. Prostaglandins are the doorstops that keep the arteries in your kidneys propped open, allowing the blood to rush in and be cleaned. The kink toes. Now, how does a painkiller like ibuprofen actually stop your knee from hurting? It doesn't fix the knee. It works by traveling through your bloodstream and completely shutting down the production of prostaglandins. No prostaglandins, no pain signal. Your knee feels great. But remember the chemical traffic jam. That ibuprofen doesn't just stay in your knee, it floods your entire system. And when it reaches your kidneys, it removes the doorstops. Without prostaglandins, the vital blood vessels inside your kidneys instantly spasm and clamp shut. This is called renal vasoconstriction. Imagine you are watering your garden with a long hose. The water is flowing freely, the pressure is perfectly balanced. Suddenly, someone steps on the hose. They kink it. What happens? The water stops flowing out of the nozzle, and the pressure inside the hose instantly skyrockets, stretching the rubber to its absolute limit. Back at the faucet, the pressure becomes violently intense. This is exactly what happens inside your cardiovascular system. Because the kidneys are clamped shut, they can no longer filter out sodium. The salt stays in your blood, and where salt goes, water follows. Your body begins to retain fluid. The total volume of your blood physically increases. You now have significantly more fluid trying to squeeze through older, stiffer pipes while the exit valves in the kidneys are locked shut. Your blood pressure explodes. And who pays the price for this massive spike in pressure? Your heart. The aging heart muscle now has to pump a heavier volume of liquid against a solid wall of resistance. Day after day, pill after pill, the heart muscle thickens. It struggles. It begins to fail. And here is the greatest tragedy, the ultimate medical failure. When a 60-year-old goes to the doctor with high blood pressure, the doctor rarely asks about the ibuprofen. They simply look at the numbers and they prescribe a new pill, a blood pressure medication. Now the patient is taking an aspirin that makes them bleed, an NSAID that destroys their kidneys, and a blood pressure pill to fix the damage caused by the NSAID. The chemical traffic jam is now a lethal pileup. But the domino effect does not stop there. because swallowing these acidic, inflammatory pills every day creates a fire in the stomach. And to put out that fire, millions of seniors reach for the third deadly pill, the stomach protector. Let's look at the nutrient thief and how the pill you take for heartburn is secretly stealing the electrical spark your heart needs to stay alive.
And how the pill you take for heartburn is secretly stealing the electrical spark your heart needs to stay alive. The stomach fire. Let's look at the domino effect inside a 62-year-old body. Richard is taking an aspirin that irritates his stomach lining. He is taking an ibuprofen that strips away the protective mucus of his gut. Naturally, he develops chronic heartburn, acid reflux. His chest burns every night after dinner. So he goes to the pharmacy, or his doctor writes a quick prescription for the third pill in our chemical traffic jam, a proton pump inhibitor, or PPI. You know them by their common names: Omeprazole, pantoprazole, esomeprazole. They are marketed as little miracles that turn off the acid and let you eat whatever you want. And for a 2-week treatment of a severe ulcer, they are miracles. But millions of seniors are taking them every single day for years. And this is where the biological theft begins. The extractor. Your stomach is not just a storage bag for food. It is a highly acidic chemical extraction plant. The acid in your stomach is incredibly powerful, and it is there for a reason. It acts like a sledgehammer, breaking apart the dense proteins in your food to release the microscopic, life-saving nutrients locked inside. 2 of the most critical nutrients it extracts are vitamin B12 and magnesium. When you swallow an omeprazole every morning, you are chemically paralyzing the tiny proton pumps in your stomach wall. You are turning off the acid. The burning stops, but so does the extraction. Your food simply passes through your digestive tract undigested. The B12 stays locked away. The magnesium washes out of your body. Month after month, year after year, you are chemically inducing severe malnutrition. The electrical short circuit. And why does this matter to your heart? Because magnesium is not just a vitamin. It is the electrical insulator of your cardiovascular system. Your heart beats because a tiny electrical impulse fires from the top of the chamber to the bottom. Magnesium acts like the rubber coating on a copper wire. It keeps the electrical signal smooth, steady, and contained. But when the omeprazole strips the magnesium from your blood, that rubber coating wears thin. Sparks begin to fly. The electrical signal misfires. Your heart suddenly skips a beat, then it races, then it flutters uncontrollably. This is called an arrhythmia, or atrial fibrillation. It is a terrifying sensation. It feels like your heart is vibrating inside your chest. And because the blood is not pumping efficiently during these flutters, it begins to pool in the chambers of the heart. And pooled blood forms clots, the exact clots that travel to the brain and cause a massive, devastating stroke. The ultimate domino. Now look at the tragedy of the 62-year-old patient. Richard goes back to his doctor. He says, "My heart is fluttering. I feel dizzy." Does the doctor look at the over-the-counter omeprazole? Do they check his intracellular magnesium levels? Rarely. Instead, they see the arrhythmia and they prescribe a 4th pill, a powerful anti-arrhythmic drug, or a beta blocker, or a heavy blood thinner. Richard came in with a sore knee and a little heartburn, and because of the chemical traffic jam, because of the slowed metabolism of aging, he is now on 4 daily medications. His kidneys are clamped shut, his stomach is paralyzed, and his blood is dangerously thin.
This is the invisible spiral of polypharmacy. It is not the disease that kills you, it is the cascading side effects of the treatment. But you do not have to be a victim of this system. You have the power to stop the pileup before it destroys the highway. Let's look at the reset protocol and the exact steps you must take to audit your medicine cabinet today.
And the exact steps you must take to audit your medicine cabinet today. The audit. The solution to the chemical traffic jam is not to simply throw all your pills in the trash. Stopping certain medications abruptly, like beta blockers or blood thinners, can cause a massive rebound effect that is just as deadly as the pills themselves. The solution is a medical strategy called deprescribing. It is the art of the medication audit. If you are over 60 and you are taking more than 3 pills a day, you must sit down with your doctor and ask one specific, uncomfortable question. Which of these pills are treating a disease, and which of these pills are just treating the side effects of another pill? You have to demand precision, because your liver and kidneys are no longer a raging river. They are a quiet stream, and they cannot handle the overflow. If you are taking an NSAID like ibuprofen for joint pain, ask about targeted, topical treatments that do not enter your bloodstream and clamp your kidneys shut. If you are taking a daily aspirin for primary prevention, meaning you have never actually had a heart attack, ask your cardiologist if the microscopic bleeding risk now outweighs the benefits. If you have been taking an Omeprazole for years, ask how to slowly taper off so your stomach can wake up and start extracting the magnesium your heart desperately needs to keep a steady rhythm. The biological reset. But pulling pills out of the traffic jam is only half the battle. You must replace the chemical bandage with biological raw materials. Why do you have joint pain and heartburn in the first place? Because your body is trapped in a state of chronic low-grade inflammation. You cannot turn off inflammation by blocking it with an ibuprofen. You have to resolve it. And the human body resolves inflammation using specific molecules called resolvins. These microscopic firefighters are built from one primary source, omega-3 fatty acids. By aggressively increasing your intake of high-quality omega-3s, like wild-caught salmon or purified fish oil, you give your body the exact biochemical tool it needs to lubricate the joints and cool the fire in the arteries naturally, without shutting down your kidneys. And finally, you must help your liver and kidneys clear the chemical traffic jam. You have to speed up the river. How? Through structured hydraulic movement. Every morning, before you walk to the kitchen, perform the soleus pump. Sit on the edge of your bed and rhythmically lift your heels up and down for 2 straight minutes. This simple movement activates the soleus muscle in your calf, your body's second heart. It acts as a massive vacuum, pulling stagnant, chemically loaded blood out of your legs and pushing it forcefully through your liver and kidneys for filtration. You are manually turning the stream back into a river. The conclusion. Turning 60 is not the beginning of the end. It is a biological transition. Your body is simply asking you to pay closer attention. It is asking you to stop relying on the easy over-the-counter fix and start respecting the delicate machinery inside your chest. Do not let a harmless-looking white pill be the reason your heart loses its rhythm. Do not let the cure become the poison. Audit your medicine cabinet.
protect your kidneys, fuel your electrical system, and take back control of your health.